Matthew 26 and 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation, meaning a trial, a test. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Shalom, this is your brother Yuanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, the elder brother here in Dallas, Mike Ayala, he just did a lesson. He referenced Romans 8. I'll read some precepts out there as well in this lesson about how we have to resist reverting back to our old defense mechanisms. All right? We have particular behaviors that we've developed here in the world when we're put in uncomfortable situations. All right? For some, that may be violence. For some, that may be, an excessive amount of worry. For some, that may be alcohol. And just to blanket cover a bunch of things, some people just turn to some sort of dopamine release. All right? Some kind of pleasure to cope when they're put in uncomfortable situations. And the thing about it is, in our walk, the Lord's going to make you uncomfortable often at time. So these behaviors that you developed in the world could result in your path in righteousness being deterred. The whole point is so that you could break those habits. You can break those behaviors. You can break those perceptions that you developed in the world and see things and perceive things the way the Lord has written in righteousness for us to perceive them and deal with them uprightly, to judge righteous judgment, actually apply the scriptures to our lives, right? And that's going to look different, from brother to brother, from sister to sister, because we all have developed different types of, habits in the world, different things that we need to work on. And we all have different weak points. Okay? Yahushua went through the same thing, man. He was tested. All right? But he built up the spiritual man, as we are supposed to a point that he was able to follow through with his purpose, which he had to get up on that cross, man. And here in this chapter, Matthew 26, he said it to you, man. The spirit is willing. The spirit know what it's supposed to do. It's like, okay, I got to do this. But the flesh is weak. The flesh like, hell no. And after the time, that's the struggle we're going to be put in, man. They'll say, hey, man, this is the way to do this, or this is what I require of you. And your spirit's like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. But your flesh is like, hell no, it's some bullshit. You know what I mean? But we're supposed to be building up our spirit so that we can walk uprightly, so that we don't budge at the, the decrees that the Lord has given us. Let's go to, I want to go to Galatians, the 5th chapter, and we'll go to the 17th verse here. All right, Galatians 5 and 17, it says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. All right, they're striving towards two different goals. The spirit is striving towards salvation and offending Yahweh Shem Yahushua less. The flesh is striving towards gratification or feeling good or being comfortable, when our whole walk is about being uncomfortable. All right, and these are contrary one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. All right? Now, that's not when people read that right there. Oh, we're not under the law. No, we're supposed to strive to keep it, but we're not under necessarily the consequences of it. Like, for instance, the Sabbath. Some brothers have to work on the Sabbath. Our clothes. We're not supposed to wear mixed fabric. But we don't have any control over the clothes that are developed. We're under the curses. The scriptures say we got to go to our enemies for want and need of all things. All right? But the point here I wanted was just the beginning of verse 17. All right? The flesh lusteth against the spirit. You see? All right, this is Romans 8 And we'll start at verse 5. It says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Again, the flesh is after gratification, comfort, okay? And this devil, our enemy, is going to play off of those things to get you to bend the knee, to get you to see him as the Most High, all right? And our whole fight is against the man in the mirror. Yeah, the wicked, they're doing their things. They're pushing wickedness in the earth, and we're against them. But the real enemy is, again, the person in the mirror, because although they're doing their program, the Lord created them to do a program. Prophecy has to be fulfilled, right? But you got to overcome yourself, your flesh, the same way Yahweh Shai had to overcome his flesh. So that's what we're building to do. So that requires reading. That requires putting things in practice. That requires, thinking, meditating spiritually about, okay, how do I respond to things before you act? Prayer for the strength to do that, because you can't do it of your own strength either. The Lord has to put the Spirit on you to do it. All right? For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So again, a lot of these behavior patterns or these perceptions that you've developed in the world, it's going to come a point in time where they could completely deter or take you off the path or get you crossed out if you cling onto those things, in the trials that we're coming into. All right, verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. It's against the Most High. The perceptions, the moral standard of what's right and wrong here, it's against the Most High, man. And if you're holding yourself to that standard, you're going to be weighed down, especially in the spirit. If a man was to hold himself to the standard of what the world says, hey, this is what makes you a good man. If we were to hold ourselves to that standard in this truth, man, we wouldn't be able to function. It'd just be like, damn, it's just heavy guilt, and there's just a weight when you're held to that worldly standard. But now that we're in this standard of righteousness, man, there's a lot of things that don't weigh you down as much anymore, in the mind, in the spirit, and physically. Okay, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. Verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. Okay? If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. All right, so let me finish this off. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, right, he is none of his. So, it's just a little quick response to the Elder Brother Mike Allah's lesson. I try to keep things short and sweet, comprehend much in few words, man. That's just me. So this video didn't run too long. I pretty much feel like I articulated my point. But, Abra, let's was edifying. With that being said, give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.